Okay, for every single one of you heading into an accounting career, you've got to understand where money and data crash into each other. So today, we're diving deep into the field that sits right at that intersection, the strategic role of IT audit. But let me just start with a question. Think about it. Your whole career is going to be built on ensuring accuracy and integrity. But we live in a world where transactions are over in a millisecond, and a company's most valuable assets are just lines of code. That traditional paper trail, it's gone. So how do you follow the money when it's not really money anymore, when it's just data? And that right there is the huge challenge for modern accounting. It's the puzzle you're going to have to solve. And the person who stands right in the middle of it all, the one who audits that invisible trail, well, that's the IT auditor. So, what in the world is an IT audit? Well, think of it as a super deep dive into a company's entire tech backbone. You'll also hear it called an information systems audit or IS audit. Don't worry, they mean the exact same thing. The real goal here is to make sure the systems are not only safe and secure, but that they're actually pushing the business forward. Believe me, it's about way more than just checking for viruses. Okay, so we've got the what, but now let's get to the why. What is an IT audit really for? What's the core mission behind this whole thing? It all comes down to four key pillars. First up, safeguarding assets. And look, we're not just talking about keeping laptops from getting stolen. We're talking about servers, mission-critical software, and what's often a company's most valuable asset, its data. Pillar two, maintaining data integrity. This is huge. It means making sure the data is accurate and consistent from the moment it's created to the moment it's archived. Any little unexpected change, whether it's from a hacker or just a simple mistake, is a big problem. Third, ensuring efficient use of resources. Are they using the right tech and the right people in the smartest way possible? And finally, the big one, achieving organizational goals. An audit has to answer the question, is all this technology actually helping the business win, or is it getting in the way? Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this is so different from what you might think of as traditional auditing. We're talking about a digital frontier, and it comes with a whole new rulebook and a whole new set of challenges. Think back to old school accounting. You had a physical paper trail, right? You could literally pull an invoice out of a filing cabinet and trace it to the general ledger. Duties were separated by hand. The person who approved a payment was not the same person who cut the check. Well, today, that trail is invisible. A customer's order might only exist as a flicker on a screen, processed automatically without anyone touching a piece of paper. And since things are automated, jobs that used to be kept separate are now all mashed together in one computer program, which, you guessed it, creates entirely new kinds of risk. And all this automation leads to one incredibly powerful feature: really easy access to data. But here's the fundamental tension we have to grapple with. Is that a blessing or is it a curse? On one hand, of course, it's a blessing. It's amazing. It's how a customer service agent can pull up your entire history in 2 seconds and solve your problem. It's how leaders can spot trends in real time and make smarter, faster decisions. And honestly, when your employees have the info they need to do their jobs well, it builds trust and just drives the whole business forward. But, and this is a big but, here's the curse. That exact same open access creates massive, massive risks. It opens the door to hackers, to corporate espionage. And when a data breach happens, the damage is just explosive. I mean, just think about the Facebook and Cambridge Analytica scandal. Over 87 million records were exposed. The result? A colossal fine and a reputation that took a serious beating. These are the kinds of high-stakes threats an IT auditor is on the front lines to prevent. And because these risks are so huge and so strategic, the role of the IT auditor itself has had to completely transform. This is not some back-office tech job anymore. If you go back to the 60s, these folks were called EDP auditors. That's electronic data processing. Their main gig was basically to pull data off these giant mainframe computers for the real financial auditors. Fast forward to the 90s, the title changed to systems auditor, and they started looking more at IT controls. But today, it is a completely different world. The modern IT auditor is a strategic risk advisor. They don't start with the tech. They start by asking, what is this company trying to achieve? And then, what are the technology risks that could stop us from getting there? And this quote it nails the new mindset. An expert put it this way: the best way for us to be able as auditors to be able to affect change is for us to take on that partnership, to get on the same side of the table. It's about ditching that old us versus them mentality.
The best auditors today see themselves as partners. They're working with the business and IT teams, saying, hey, let's look at these risks together and figure out the smartest way forward as a team.
So, if you're not just a tech wizard and you're not just a traditional numbers person, what kind of skills do you actually need to pull this off?
It really boils down to a blend of three things. First, of course, you need technical aptitude. You have to have a real passion for understanding how stuff like cybersecurity and cloud computing actually works. But just as important is business acumen. You've got to be able to think about risk and connect every piece of technology back to the company's big picture goals. And the glue holding it all together? Soft skills. You have to have the emotional intelligence and the communication chops to take a super complex technical problem and explain it to the board of directors in a way they can actually understand and act on.
Okay, so let's bring this all full circle. Let's talk about you. Why is everything we've just discussed absolutely essential for every single accounting student listening right now?
Well, the answer can pretty much be summed up with one very powerful number, Section 404.
So Section 404 of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, you'll hear everyone call it SOX, was a total game changer. It made it the law for company management to report on how effective their internal controls over financial reporting are. And here's the key. You simply cannot have a conversation about financial controls today without talking about IT controls. They are completely 100% intertwined. And it's not just SOX in the US. Global standards like ISA 315 say the same thing. The integrity of the financial statements absolutely depends on the integrity of the IT systems. So here's the takeaway I really want you to remember. This isn't some niche specialty for a couple of tech nerds anymore. For you, the accountant of the future, understanding IT controls is a core, non-negotiable part of your job. It's going to be just as fundamental as knowing your debits and credits. So what's your path from here? Well, step one is to start building a foundation in both accounting and IT. Step two, you have got to develop a real passion for learning because this field changes by the second. Step three, work on those communication skills. Really practice being the person who can bridge the gap between the tech world and the business world. And then down the line, think about getting a certification like the CSI, the Certified Information Systems Auditor, to really prove your expertise and unlock new opportunities. This is the direction the entire profession is moving. It's a role that's more strategic, more collaborative, and frankly, more important to a company's success than it has ever been before. So the only real question left is, are you ready to be that trusted advisor? Are you ready to be the auditor of the future?